It's great.
All right. How are you?
Hello.
Everything's
I'm
fine?
fine, thanks. Yes, thanks. And you? You're fine?
Yeah, good, good. So today we are with Umer, and Florent is going to join later. Annie is sick and Maxime is in PTO because it's holiday time also. So
Mhm.
we are going to just have this conversation today with whoever wants to join, like Umer, and we're going to go through a very interesting topic that we've prepared, that is the jobs at risk and the opportunities of this AI market. So um, let's try to first frame, as we currently do it, what's the what are we talking about exactly? Um, so it's been a year since ChatGPT came out. Everybody was very excited about it at first, saying like, "Wow, I've never seen that before." Like I've never seen the capability of creating text that really sounds like I could have written this thing, or even better, something like uh, I I couldn't have done this as good. I think that this moment when you're like, oh, but wait a minute, if I couldn't have done as good as this thing, probably this thing can replace me. And I think this is the moment where, in the mind, at least in my mind, I was like, oh, damn, like if machines can do that well now, what what's the future of humans in that sense? And we didn't expect really that the disruption of AI and automation would have been about like creating content, writing text, doing such a like creativity task. I don't know if you see what I mean. Like for me, it was like, no, automation, purely repetitive task with no creativity attached to it is going to be the thing that we replace first. But it came up like, no, it actually creates stuff that are seen as creative. Um, I mean, if you brief ChatGPT about something, he will came up with different options, like a way of writing a story. We had seen a lot of stuff like around, child stories also. People have been writing full entire books, child stories book with those AI. So it's confusing when you think about it. It's what the hell? Like this thing can create stuff. But then on the other side, there was the idea of yes, but they hallucinate a lot. You can't trust them. And
Mm.
I want to just start with this idea of okay, uh, what are we looking at? We are looking at a system that has some creativity attached to it, but on the other hand is not really trustworthy because it hallucinates. But the same thing that makes it hallucinates and not being trustful is interesting stuff in the creative sense. You see what I mean? It's kind of confusing. Like, oh, okay. How do you feel about that? Like, do you follow my thinking on this?
Yeah, in my perspective, it's exactly that. Like my first impression was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And like, I don't know how many times we heard like robots will take over, we will not be able to do anything anymore. Our jobs as are at risk and all of that. And then suddenly when you like get to know like AI and try it out and you just try to understand like, okay, what it's giving me is not always something I can trust. And then it comes the second perspective. Like the first one was just like, whoa, it can do everything. Everything I ever asked it to do, it can do it, and it can replace me in any second. And then at the same time, it's just like I can't trust it anymore. So it just like becomes like this, how do you say, mind game in my head. Like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is it something that is like, uh, how do you say, will it take over, or we will never get to a point where we can trust it 100%, so we cannot
That's
replace
it.
humans with it? So like, where are we in that like progress?
How
How
far?
close are we? Yes, how close or how far are we from like it replacing us?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because also, I think that what changed was the introduction of GPT-4. Before, the models were not that good, and GPT-4 and this multimodality, this ability to create images now and everything, that everything into the same model, the multimodality of this thing, kind of triggers. Because at first, if it's purely a language model, if it's just spitting out text, okay, it's good. It can be creating emails and replying and doing customer service. Okay, why not? But when you introduce function calling, which means that you can call specific function, so it can do tasks for you. When in ChatGPT, it was the search on internet, like search across multiple sources on internet and then come back and give me a summary. This was the first thing that GPT-4 was shown to do. Then it was this code interpreter where you send a document like an Excel spreadsheet and it's bringing you the data analysis and the chart is building the chart for you. And so you feel like, oh, all those analysts then can go, I don't know, do anything else. But the fact that this large language model has come to a maturity when they can take multiple inputs, they can call functions, they can create text, they can generate images, then this looks much more like an automated uh, kind of system, like a way that automation can happen. The At first, I want to say that just the text was not that impressive. It was impressive, but it was not setting the stage for fully automated workflows. Now, with one model like GPT-4, we can have so much things doing. And when we combine different models together, what those multi-agent thing that we can see on the market now, where you basically have a conversation between multiple AI that build tasks. This is also super impressive because you can have a chain of actions that are combined together. So yeah, that's probably the stage where we want to think and wonder a little bit. Like GPT-4 was the big thing. Um, GPT-3 was impressive, but GPT-4 was more, and even more now that we had vision and tech and image creation and all that stuff. We can more easily see how it can replace a lot of jobs. So, Umer and Hamza, you guys are welcome to also share your experience about that. Do you want to say a word?
Yeah, I think I would like to add on this point that, for example, ChatGPT 4 is, for example, previously we used to do data analysis using Excel or Python or Power BI, but nowadays we can just put our data on the ChatGPT 4 and using and instruct them all those commands, and we get the solutions in a small time. I think so. I mean, there are some limitations which stop them, but it has really impacted the or simplified the job, I believe.
Yeah. So you've been using it with this data analysis module, right?
Yeah, I have been
Mhm.
using this.
Yeah, yeah. Me too. And I think that it just speeds up the exploratory time. That's it. Because when it comes to analysis and saying like, hey, what decision can I draw on that data? We're not yet there. Do you feel the
Yeah,
same?
but no, I don't think so. It's the same, but there are some limitations to that. For example, the confidentiality of the data. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that's the main issue. But I think we are there. Uh, we can deduce the solutions or insights from it, most part. But the point here is that we can. It is reducing the human job that is previously that we have to write down the codes in Python or EDC, but nowadays it's really simple these days. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, I get your point. I think that though, from my experience, the analysis, I remember I wanted to do an analysis on some very shady data set. Like it was not very clear. The columns were not clear. The data was combining different sources of information. So in one data called metadata, you could have like numbers and then like text. But so it was like a JSON file in the table, and it definitely didn't work. So yeah, the basic data analysis can work pretty good, but still there is a lot of room for improvement. But we, as well, that's what I say. We already see where it can go because it's only 1 year. So in 2 years, in 3 years, where can this go? I think that's the thing where people are getting like stressed out about, probably. Are you stressed out about that, Hamza, or Umar or Bazira?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm stressed out about it. That where is it going, or I mean, it's the point of matter, but but there are different opinions to that. Some people say that it will take out the jobs for a human, but I don't think so. I don't think so that will happen because AI, as competent it can be, it will always be needing a human support or human supervision.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
that will always be the case, I think.
I think so. I think so too. Yeah.
I
So
think like when it comes to that part, when we ask ourselves like what jobs can AI replace and what can it not, I think it depends on like different how to say perspectives. Like if it's something like I don't know that doesn't require human brain, like it's just something that should just like be made.
execute.
Like yes, exactly. I think that AI will definitely replace those kind of jobs because we don't need human there. We don't need like the
Yes.
brain. We just need the physics there.
Yeah.
Like we need like in a factory, take that and put it there. We don't need a human to do that. We can have like something else to do that. And I think like when it doesn't come to like creativity, what you were talking about, even though the AI is like including creativity nowadays more than like before the ChatGPT 3, um, I just think that when it comes to like replacing humans, I think it depends on what kind of job we're talking about. And as
Yeah.
we like found out, UK did a very like huge
Yeah, we
study,
need to
and
look
they
at
are
this.
estimating yes,
Mm.
the real study. I can should I share my screen or should you share your screen?
I've shared it. It's fine. So yeah,
The
if you guys haven't been paying attention to this study, so there we probably, I don't know if you have the link to the
the real
document.
study, I did send it to you.
In this document?
No, in
Oh,
fact,
put it on the chat maybe so everybody can click on it.
okay, I will. And it's just on the first page. It says like 10 to 30%. They're estimating that 10 to 30%
Yeah,
of
so
the
10 to 30% of
uh,
job are automatable with AI. So that's the talking points that
yeah,
you have spotted. Yeah. So 10
and
to
it's a
30.
lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know on the previous revolutions how much of the job has been replaced, but uh, 10 to 30% sounds like a big chunk. And interestingly, yeah, so let's click on that link.
Yeah, and it's just page 4, the first like text page. And then it says that there's like
Yeah, so this is the most
the first thing.
up-to-date analysis of an institutional body, the Department of Education of the UK, that has created this very, very insightful document. It's 30 pages, so it's quite digestible. And what we picked up from it was a few things. We picked up this AIOE, so AI occupational exposure. So basically the score of exposition of an AI job to the replacement by AI. And then we have a list of jobs right here that are listed. So we can probably go through some of them in the document. So let's look at this. So AI occupational exposure seems to be this kind of score that you want to have attached to your job when you say like, hey, I have a job and I'm score 20 or score 80 out of 100, I don't know, on the replacements thing, and be have reason to worry or not. So the parameters that they have stated here are abstract strategy games, real-time video games, image recognition, visual questioning, image generation, reading comprehension, language modeling, translation, speech recognition, and instrumental track recognition. So I don't know how relevant those 10 functions are in a particular job and it can apply, but basically, at least they are trying to put some framework to understand like the scoring system and everything around it. So I guess that this part is going to be interesting to look at, but I wanted to see, and I don't think it's very clear in what they are doing here. But there needs to be some way of saying what are the most exposed stuff. And so if we look at the industry right here, I think it's interesting to look at this figure where finance and insurance, information and communication, professional, scientific and technical, property are kind of the most highest score. And when you see down, accommodation, food and services, motor and trades, agriculture, transport, construction, retail, they are quite negative. This is the average. So I guess that that tells us a lot on the topic that I shared first, where the jobs that we didn't think were the most exposed, the white collars jobs around finance and insurance and basically like working on a computer, we thought that those jobs with a high level like of highly paid high MBA or a master or stuff like that, they are kind of the most exposed one today, because most of the work is related to automation and reasoning, where data is structured. It's basically work that is not related to humans. And when you see on the lower hand, everything that is related to humans is not so at risk. So it's comforting in a way, to my opinion, that the ones that are most close to human are going to be.
But the one thing I noticed when looking at this is that the ones that are most exposed to like being replaced is the high educational jobs.
Yeah.
Like food services, I do not need education to go out and serve people food.
No.
But finance and insurance, I need to like study for 3 years. And that's something that made my mind like suffer a bit. And it was like,
yeah,
the people who are studying, they're and like really putting effort into getting somewhere in their career, they are the ones who are gonna get replaced first. If we look at this paper that UK made, and that's just crazy if you ask me.
yeah, because it means that it's also the end of education system as we know it. And it's making me think about this, like, this I often talk about Yann LeCun, this French AI thought leader and head of AI at Meta, where he's saying that basically as AI systems and large language models are going to become the knowledge base of the word knowledge. So everything like internet was helping us access the world information, but you needed to know like how to navigate around different pages and stuff, when this thing can actually bring you exact answer to the question that you have. And so you can learn about a topic in less time. So you can learn a degree in less time through this. So yeah, it's kind of really interesting. because education as we know it, I mean, my 2-year-old son might not be having any degree to do if he has like all the capabilities of learning the very, high level kind of intelligent stuff.
Yeah.
Now when I look
And
at
we
the
have
list,
like an education
psychology.
system. Yeah, and we have like an education system that like the whole society is built upon.
Yeah.
And so if that gets like replaced and we no longer validate education as we are doing today, like what consequence would that bring to the society?
True.
Mm.
So looking at the list, we have like management consultant, financial manager. So this list is the most exposed. Okay, so actuaries, purchasing, psychologist is funny, but in a way I understand it. Like if you have a special AI chatbot that helps you feel good and feel better, and probably that makes sense. Also, I think there is already trials on this.
I first didn't like when I first saw that psychology was up in this list. I was like, never. Like, if I need someone, I want to talk to a real person. But then it reminds me that one of my friends here in Paris are actually developing app for a health using like I don't know different sounds and different like melodies that trigger something in your brain that keeps your stress level down using AI.
Super
And then it was just like, okay, that's true. Maybe we don't need real psychologists anymore. I don't know, but yeah.
There is not enough psychologists for the amount of people that need psychological support.
Yeah.
So that might be just the problem. And if we look at the list exposed, we have sport players. Yes, of course. Roofers, elementary construction occupation, plasterers, steel erectors, hospital porters, cleaners and domestics, launderers and dry cleaners, window cleaners, painters, packers, gardeners, road construction operatives.
This is everything that doesn't include a computer or has something with something technical.
Yes.
It just needs
Exactly.
human. Yeah.
So what does it mean? Because we have only so much time to discuss and we try to make 30 minutes discussion. So the list is super interesting. So thank you for putting this up and extracting this from the report. But I think that the points that we want to make is you need to stay relevant. If you're doing a job today that is about extracting the same data set from the same system, creating the same report for the same CEO that wants every day the same report, what I was doing basically at some point in my career where it was like just the same thing all over and over again. This needs to go away. Like this will go away because it can be fully automated. So every deterministic action that are able to be repeated over time and that doesn't require you to think too much, you might want to adapt, be more creative, create some empathy toward the people that you serve, like the manager that you serve, and probably try to understand what else he needs that it's not covered now. Because also I think that the way we work today is more like, oh, we have always done like this, we are just going to repeat and do the same thing. And we just don't question. So I think the main idea is like question everything now. Is it really helping? Is it really serving someone? That's I think that that's very important to question everything and to stay relevant. I think that's what it means. Point 5, you say proactive steps. So stay ahead. Monitor industry trends, develop transferable skills. Exactly. And the most transferable skills are human related skills. So like you can apply to any topic the fact that you're a good listener or that you're a good talker. Then think about maximizing the integration that you have between your work and AI. I guess that's already interesting. Like if you see the wave coming, try to think about how you integrate AI in your workflows. Because as I said in the post that I've made to like promote this, the most interesting, like the most catchy phrase that I've heard is AI will not replace you, but someone using AI will. I think that's pretty spot on. If everybody is starting integrating AI in their workflow, if you don't and you just do the same stuff, some of my friend in Canada, he made a post on LinkedIn last week where he said, like, I made a quote to an agency to create a website, or I don't know exactly what it was. They said me 36K for building this. So I said, okay, I'm going to try to do it fully with AI and just asking AI to generate code on the thing that I wanted. And in half a day, I was done. So you see the difference between like this quote from the old-fashioned agencies. So his point was, I think I clicked on how disruptive the AI is in the industry, because before they could have told me like, this is the quote, and now I can do it myself for a price that is not even comparable. And I've learned stuff along the way. So yeah. I think we're gonna see that in so many other things. Like yeah, even if we take the sports coach, like, oh, you're a sports coach, but do you have an app? Like, do you have an AI that follows my kind of training? Because I want you as a coach, but I want you to also follow my stats, and if you are charging me like this much money because half of your time you're gonna just log my exercises and help me like do calculation of my progress, whereas some other service are going to do it by default because they have an app, you might want to go to the trainer with an AI, that trainer without any AI, you know? So that's really emphasizing on AI and human collaboration. Okay, recognizing the value of collaboration between human and AI system is critical. So I think that's probably my last point, is wrapping up on this. Any other thing you want to add, guys, on that?
No, I think you wrapped up good from my side, at least.
Umer or Hamza? Thumbs up. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go, but we definitely need more time to sit and think through it. But the good thing you need to remember from that episode is, like, institutional bodies like UK Education of the Department of Education in the UK, maybe other entities in your countries, are going to look at this AI impact on jobs. So if you want to stay ahead, you might want to look at these studies, understand, put some critical thinking on it, and be like, okay, wait, I am into management consultant right now, or I am to finance, and I always wanted to do, I don't know, take care of people, be a I don't know, be a physio or stuff like that. Maybe I want to change career and work more with people now, that I see that this way is doing. I don't, maybe I just hypothesizing that, and maybe it's also about, oh, I do this and now I can include AI in my work. So how can I learn more about AI to understand what algorithm, what model I could use inside my workflow so that I can become more efficient and I can become the AI guy of the company. If you're working on small businesses more than anything else, I think that being the AI guy of the company is going to be super compelling as well. So as this thing is going to continue to grow, proactively adapting and embracing AI, we talk about it a lot with you, Bazira, and with the team. How can we stay ethical nonetheless, like use this but not being crazy about like using it in so many different ways that you are spamming people up, or you're like doing stuff that are not really you. Try to make it your own, and yeah, I think that the last phrase is interesting, like a future where human and AI works together harmoniously is the goal, is the target. It's not to be like fully replaced. I think not even possible to replace. But as you said, Hamza, definitely having human in the loop, but the human in the loop needs to understand what the AI has been doing. So it needs to understand how AI works, how AI is integrated, so it can, make sure the trust can remain in the process. It's ultimately about that. Maintain, like, trust is the center question when you work with those things. So yeah, I think that's a wrap. No, what do you think?
Yeah, it is.
Cool. So thank you guys for
Thank you.
showing up and discussing about that topic. If there is anything else you want to add in the comments of the LinkedIn event, or if you want to reach out to us, just don't hesitate to. We're pretty accessible in LinkedIn. And in the next episode, we can talk about, we are going to talk about I think the industry in more details. We'll try to go a bit deeper inside industries. Like, what does it mean for, I like the movie industry right now, where you see the guys that they're very scared in Hollywood about being replaced by their AI digital version and taking their voice and all that stuff. I think this is interesting. We can also look at all the different other aspects where AI can be disrupting, but in an industry angle versus the pure job angle that we have tackled today. All right. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
And have a good end of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.